In this video, we're going to learn how to use Python to scrape data that we may use to create a dataset. We'll be using one of my Pokemon-themed visualizations as an example, and try to retrieve some of the data that was used to create it. First, we need to source our data, and there's often no better source than something official. By using an official source, we at least have some guarantees about the integrity of the data. So, in this case, our source can be the official Pokédex on the Pokemon website. If we click on Bulbasaur and go to its page, we can see the page address contains the Pokemon name. This could be inconvenient, as it means we'd need to know every Pokemon's name ahead of time if we wanted to automatically visit every page and retrieve the data. However, it looks like we're in luck, because we can pass in a Pokemon's Pokédex ID instead of its name and we'll still get the same page. With this, we know we can create a loop from 1 to infinity and retrieve pages so long as they exist. Now that we have the source sorted, let's figure out how we're going to extract the data from the page. We'll need to confirm a few things first. What data do we want to extract? And where is the data stored in the HTML document? Starting with point 1, let's decide we want the following data for a Pokemon. We want its Pokédex ID, its name, its types, and the address to its image. Now on to point 2. This is the trickier part. It involves opening up the web page and expecting its source. You can do this in whatever you prefer, but here I'm using Safari's Web Inspector. The idea here is to find points of reference for navigating the HTML document towards the data we need. So let's figure out where we're getting our data. We'll be using the Pokédex ID to access the data in the first place, so we don't need to extract this from the page. Looking at the Pokemon's name, it looks like it appears in a div element, which itself has a parent div element with the class Pokédex, Pokemon, pagination, title. Now, looking at the types, we can see they each appear within the content of an anchor tag, each appearing within a list item, which appear within an unordered list, and most importantly, within a div with the class DTM type. Finally, looking at the source of the Pokemon's image, we can see the address ends in a 3-digit Pokédex ID. Let's confirm that changing this to something else still works. We'll try Mewtwo, which is number 150. It looks like it works, so we can use this pattern to retrieve our images. Great, now to extract the data with Python. I'm going to use the requests package to retrieve the HTML documents and LXML to process them. We'll start by retrieving the HTML content from Bulbasaur with Pokédex ID 001 and storing it in our variable named HTML. Next, we'll pass this using LXML and store it in our variable named doc. To get the Pokemon's name, we'll use an XPath query to follow the pattern that we determined earlier and retrieve the text. We can print this out to confirm that we've extracted the Pokemon's name. But it looks like there's some undesirable white space and that it's the first item in the list. Let's select the first item explicitly and strip out all of the white space before printing again. That's looking better. Now let's try and retrieve the Pokemon's types. Again, we're traversing the document with XPath using the path we determined earlier. If we print it, we can see we have exactly what we're after, and we can access each type by indexing the list. With that, we've extracted all the data that we wanted from the page. Let's now supplement this with the other data such as Pokédex ID and image URL, and add it to a dictionary so that we can use it later. That worked great, but what if we want to automate this process to retrieve 800 plus Pokemon and store them in something like a data frame? I've covered how to do that in an article over at Polyra.com. You'll find the link in the description. Check it out to see the full code listing and a step-by-step on how to get there. Check out this and other articles on Polyra.com, the plotting API on Plotopy.com, our Discord, and the Patreon. Looking forward to meeting you, and stay safe.